My name is Harold Spradling. I am running for a corporation commission because I've always had an interest in politics, and I've worked with a lot of political campaigns in Oklahoma as well as other states. Been intrigued by it and felt like I could do a job that was available. I've encouraged a lot of other people in this last year to get into politics themselves, or something an active person should be as an older person. And as this position came up with the Corporation Commission, open seat this time, there's no incumbent, I believe that it was a good opportunity. And I know there are others running in the same position, and I think they're good people, but I still believe I'm the best qualified. I've owned and operated in oil industry a lot, many years, since I was a teenager, really, as a roughneck. I've worked for a railroad, that was Frisco Railroad, in their home office. I've worked for various industries that the Corporation Commission has regulatory power over, and I think I know a lot about it. So that's why I'm running for office.
In 2021, Oklahoma experienced an unusual but predicted cold weather event. The fallout from that storm left Oklahomans holding the bag for over $5 billion in costs incurred in a matter of hours due to purchasing off the high-priced gas spot market. If elected, what will you do to prevent something like this from happening again?
I had just moved to Oklahoma City 4 years ago, although I maintain a residence in a smaller town in northwest Oklahoma. And in my property, there was a lot of damage. A lot of trees were blown down, all kinds of things. Of course, we were out of power for days. The ice storm was tremendous. We knew there was an emergency. The fact that they got it on made us all happy as users. But on the other hand, when we realized they weren't as well prepared, the utilities were not as well prepared for the emergencies I think they should have been. As far as being prepared, they should have had more of these suppliers. I understand they spent maybe $1 billion to get immediate service, transmission, and other things from other companies. And they apparently, out of 64 different people they checked into or used, I think they were overpaid. They overpaid for too many ways. So I believe that in the future, they should have a list of people scheduled who will provide the transmission, provide the other things, have a pretty set cost, and it would not take such a long time, for one thing, because they would have the supplies at hand. Oklahoma will always have storms, ice storms, wind storms, whatever. We know that, so we might as well be prepared for it. The other thing is, I believe that the utilities should do more, especially electrical, as far as underground lines for industry as well as for residential.
What will your approach be for determining if a requested rate increase is justified, and what factors will you consider in your decision-making process?
I present myself to the voters as a person who has a lot of answers, but I don't have all the answers. I would discuss this with even the representatives of the companies, why they want that. I would discuss it with them individually rather than just listen to a speech they made. I would discuss it with my other two regulators. We would go in very deep depth, in my opinion, with the other two commissioners, but I wouldn't feel obligated to go their way. I want to remain free and open to what I believe is best for especially the older people, that I can make the decision even if I'm on the losing side.
We continue to see efforts to build new power plants, invest in alternative energy, and shore up the utility grid. How will you approach the cost investments needed for these projects to ensure fairness for ratepayers?
Fairness has to do with a lot of different things. I want to get to that, but first of all, I'm in favor of more wind power. I think that's a coming thing. I'm in favor of the solar energy. And I understand there's some kind of regulation on solar that fine home, $1 million home that adds all the solar conveniences, can have a contractor sell their power back. And the question is, does a poor person who has a $35,000 home have the same right? I see no problem there because we're in the early development of solar power. So I think we should take it wherever we can and hope that it's going to be more consistent than the power failures we've had in the past. I am in favor of a new update plant when they have to have it, but that would be something I would look at over a long period of time. Actually, this is a 6-year term. A person can learn a lot in that 6 years, and there will be a lot of development in the next 6 years. So I would say hold off on any rush into new power plants. Bring the present power plants up to speed, whatever they need. But we would certainly look at cost of the new ones, suppliers, and the location. And the only thing I can imagine happening in that would be the amazing growth in both Oklahoma City and Tulsa. So there will be expenses made. I'm not opposed to it, I just don't think it should be. Also, I'm very much opposed to borrowing money to build these developments, whether improvement, that would run long term, like 20 years, 28 years with high rates of interest. I would put a limit on that. Nobody carries interest more than 5 years after a storm. You don't have to have something going for 25 years where the interest rate has become the major cost of all of it.